the senses. The procedures are found in your lab manual, no? So be guided accordingly. Now, some of the exercises are easy enough that you could do it at home, no, over the weekend. So that next week, if you want to verify your findings or your observations, we could do so, no? So this is to give you a sense of what will happen next week, no? So that when we have the SGB discussion, we'll have a more, how should I put it? You'll be able to relate, no, on what we're talking about when we discuss the physiologic principles behind the different activities that you will be doing. So I highly suggest that if you can do the different activities, no, a lot of them are simple enough. It will not take you probably more than 10 or 15 minutes to do all the things that you can do at home, no? So that, you know, mas maganda yung magiging discussion natin, so that when you get to apply all the physiologic concepts, no, you'll be able to relate, no, when we do the SGB. Okay, so I'll give you a rundown of the different procedures that we will do. Okay, so first you have your touch and pressure. So for the first activity, so this is tactile localization or topognosis. So here you will need a subject blindfolded, and then you will apply a stimulus on the skin, no, using a ball pen. You'll apply a stimulus on the skin, and then the subject holding another ball pen will locate the mark, no, where you place the initial stimulus. So you have 2 points on the skin, and then you will measure, no? So that's your tactile localization. So we will do this at different body parts. So this is how we will do it.
For our first activity, we will do topognosis or tactile localization. In this experiment, prepare 2 ballpoint pens, 1 ruler, 1 blindfold, and your subject. So for our first activity, have the subject look away or have him blindfolded, and then place a mark on the fingertip, any fingertip of your subject. Once you have 2 marks, you need to measure the distance between the 2 points. Now you will record, and you need to do that for 5 times. Then get the average. Now you need to do the same activity on the different body parts. Here we will use the forearm. So with the same procedure, have the subject locate where your initial mark is. Then measure the difference. So again, do that for 5 times, then get the average. Doing the same procedure on the back. Make sure that you place the initial mark on the skin, not on the clothes. Then have the subject locate where your initial mark is. So measure the difference. Again, do that for 5 times, then get the average. For this activity, you need to perform your tactile localization on 5 body parts: the index finger, the palm, the forearm, mid-calf, and back. Take note that when placing your mark, it should touch the skin and not the clothes. Do that for 5 times for each body part, then get the average.
Okay, so that's your tactile localization. No? So you'll do this activity on the fingertip, any fingertip. No? So you have so many options: the palm, the forearm, the back, and the calf. So when you do this activity, make sure that you stimulate the skin, not the clothes, no, because that will obscure your findings. And when you get the average, you get the average per area. So you get the average on the fingertip, you get the average for your palm, average for your forearm, average for your back, and average for your calf. No, do not get the average of everything. So we will get the average per area. No, and then we will see which one has the smallest distance, which one is the widest distance. So in other words, which is more sensitive, no, which area is more acutely or accurately localized, things like that. No? So when you go to the SGD, we will not be focusing more on the results. No, of course you will be presenting your results, but what is more important is why do you have such findings? No, so what are the physiologic principles behind that will help you localize accurately, things like that. No. Okay, next is 2-point discrimination. So for this one, we want to detect the smallest distance wherein we are able to identify 2 points as two. So here you will start with a wide angle or 2 points farther apart, no, stimulating the skin, and then you gradually decrease, no, you gradually decrease the distance until the subject feels only one stimulus, one stimulus, and then you slightly increase the distance again until the subject feels two stimuli. So the moment the subject will tell you he or she feels two stimuli, so that's when you measure. No?
Next, we'll do 2-point discrimination. For this exercise, we will need a compass and a ruler. Again, you will need a subject, preferably blindfolded, to do this exercise. What you need to do is, using the fingertip of your subject and the compass, place the compass or the two tips of the compass in the fingertip and ask your subject if he or she can feel 2 points. Okay. Now gradually increase the distance between the 2 points. Until the subject is only able to feel 1 point. Once the subject has indicated 1 point, gradually increase the distance between the 2 points. And then, once the subject has indicated 2 points, measure the distance between the 2 points. This is your 2-point threshold. So you need to record 5 trials for the fingertip. We will do the same procedure on the forearm. Now measure the distance between the 2 points. So we will do that for 5 trials, then get the average. For the third body part, we will use the back. Ilan? 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 Measure the distance between the 2 points and do that again for 5 trials, then get the average. When doing this on the back, make sure that the 2 points will touch the skin.
Okay, so that's your 2-point discrimination. So for this activity, you'll do it on the fingertips. No, you have 10 options. The forearm, no, and then the back. And again, when you apply the stimuli, make sure that it will touch the skin, not the clothes. No? So for each area, you'll have to do that 5 trials, no? And then you will get the average for each area. No? So you get the average for the fingertip, you get the average for the forearm, and then you get the average for the back. So of course, you'll have varying values. So we will be discussing which one has the short or the narrowest, or the smallest distance, which one would have the widest. So what does that mean? No, which one is more sensitive? How are we able to identify 2 points as 2? So these are the things that we will be discussing during the SGD. No? So it's not enough that you simply present your data. So what is more important would be the why and the how. No? The physiologic principles behind these activities. Okay, next is adaptation. So this is simple enough. So with an outstretched hand, you simply place an object on your hand. So it could be a coin, a ball pen, a key, paper clip, whatever. No? So you just take note when will the sensation disappear. No? Some students can use or can time, no? The duration with which your stimulus or the sensation disappears. No? So the moment you place the object, you start the time, and then once you no longer feel the object, then you stop the time. No? So that gives you an idea how long your receptors will adapt. Now sometimes it will take a few seconds, no? 30 seconds, 40 seconds, a minute, sometimes longer than that. No? 5 minutes, 6 minutes. So be a little bit patient. So that will also depend, no, the duration of your adaptation will also depend on the object that you will use. So if you're using a light object like a paper clip, no, or a small coin, then adaptation would be a little bit faster. But if you're using a heavier object, then medyo pwedeng mas matagal yun. So when you go to the SGD, what is more important is how does adaptation happen? No? So yun yung mga pag-uusapan natin. Okay, next is pressure. So this is simple enough. You'll have 2 beakers. One will contain water, the other one will contain mercury. So the subject will dip 1 finger on each of your beakers, and then the subject will have to identify which one is water, which one is mercury. No? Now, we will not do this because mercury medyo health hazard siya, and it's a no-no for the environment. Now, at home, syempre, wala naman siguro kayong isang boteng mercury sa bahay, di ba? You could use a substitute, like for example, syrup, pwede yun. But the thing is that will be wasteful. No? So, kukuha ka ng isang basong syrup or half glass of syrup and then ilulubog mo lang yung daliri mo gano'n. Just to identify which one is syrup, which one is water. So medyo wasteful siya. So that's why we will not do this anymore. Of course, the presumption is if you don't have any neurologic deficit, you should be able to identify which one is water, which one is breath, which one is mercury, or which one is syrup. Now, what is more important is how are we able to identify water? How are we able to identify which one is mercury? So that's the more important question, which we will discuss during the SGD. Okay, next is proprioception. So for this one, This definitely we will do it in the lab, no? Because this is a little bit interesting. So we will need 21 peso coin in two identical containers. So you'll need a subject, and then you will randomly place coins, no, on the two containers and have your subject balance, no, both containers on two hands. So what your subject will do is he or she will try to identify which container will have more coins or which one is heavier, no, or are they the same.
For the next activity, we will do proprioception. What you need is two identical cups, 21 peso coin or 20 pieces of identical coins, and a subject that you will have to blindfold. Place 1 peso coin in each of the two cups and have the subject close the eyes. Balance the cup on the palm of each of the subject's hand and have the subject report their relative weight.
Alin ang mas mabigat?
Remove both cups and remove 1 coin from one cup. Replace the cup and have the subject report again the relative weights.
Alin ang mas mabigat? Alin ang mas mabigat?
Continue removing the coins from the same cup until you are convinced that the weight differences reported is consistent and in sensation.
Alin ang mas mabigat?
To add to this conviction, the cups should be randomly alternated between the two hands, and trials should be made whereby the cups are merely lifted, rattled as though removing shots or coins, and the cups replaced still having the same weight as having the preceding trial.
Alin ang mas mabigat?
Okay, so ganun siya guys, no? So of course, during the SGD, other than reporting your results, what is more important is how are we able to identify which one is heavier, which one is lighter, no? The why and the how, yun ang mas importante. Okay, for passive movements, this is simple enough. You could do this at home. So you just, move the extremity or the finger of your subject in any direction that you want, and then the subject will have to identify which direction siya naka-point, no? Up, down, left, right, wherever, no? So
next, we will do tests for the appreciation of passive movements. For this exercise, again, you will need a blindfolded subject. Grasp a finger or a toe by the side to minimize cues from the pressure and ask the blindfolded subject to state the direction that his finger or toe is moved. Repeat the procedure at least 5 times.
Higit po kayo. Nasaan po yung daliri? Taas, baba. Nasaan po yung daliri? Saan hindi? Nasaan po yung daliri? Nasaan po yung daliri? Taas po.
next is position sense. So for this one extremity is placed at a weird position, and then the other extremity will have to duplicate it.
Next, we will do the test for sense of position. For this one, again, you will need a blindfolded subject. Place the upper limb or finger of a blindfolded subject in an unusual position.
Pikit po kayo.
Then ask the subject to duplicate the position using the other upper limb or finger. Avoid any auditory cues.
Kayahin niyo po yung kanila. Kayahin niyo po. Bukas po natin sa iba sa baba po. Patingin po ng kamay. Pagaya po sa kanila.
Okay, so ganun lang siya kasimple, guys, no? Of course, kung wala namang neurologic deficit yung subject ninyo, your subject should be able to identify up, down, left, right, wherever. And your subject could also duplicate or replicate the position of the other extremity. No? And again, what is more important is how are we able to identify our finger is pointing up, down, wherever, or how are we able to duplicate, no, the position of the other extremity. So that's the more important question for the SGD.
Next.
Okay, next is for pain. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Wala. Sige. For pain, you'll have several activities for pain. So for this one, ito yung superficial at saka deep pain, no? Now, you will be applying several types of stimuli, and then the subject, of course, will have to describe, no, the sensation. So I hope the IPD people taught you how to describe pain. Diba? Yung PQRST, the precipitating factor, the quality of the pain, radiation, no? Do you feel it on the site of application, or does it radiate elsewhere? Severity, no? So minsan pain scale yan. So in a scale of 1 to 10, things like that. And the timing. So the moment you apply the stimulus, do you feel pain immediately or later on? When you remove the stimulus, does the sensation disappear immediately or does it linger? Things like that. So when you're doing this activity, it is important that your subject will have to articulate as much as possible, describe as much as possible, no, yung characteristics ng pain. So it's not enough na sasabihin ng patient mo, yes, masakit po. Hindi lang siya ganon. So you'll have to tawag ito, tell your subject to duplicate, no? Describe. I-describe yung sensation, no, as accurately as possible. So here you have superficial pain, and then later on you'll have deep pain.
For the next exercise, we will do investigation on sensation of pain, specifically skin pain and deep pain. For this activity, you will need a burner and a metal pin. For skin pain, with a blindfolded subject, elicit painful sensation by pin prick. Hair pulling, and by touching the skin with a heated pin.
So that's your superficial or your skin pain. So notice you have different types of stimuli, no? So of course, you'll have to describe ano yung pain sensation. So is it burning, tearing, pins and needles, things like that, no? So this one is for deep pain.
For deep pain, pinch the web between the 4th and the 5th index fingers until pain is felt. Compare this sensation to skin pain. Procure pain by putting pressure on the tendon of the Achilles and by pressure on the muscle.
Ayun po kayo. Ipatong po sa init ko. Ipatong po ang paa sa likod. Hanggang sa uwan.
Okay, so in addition to describing your deep pain and your superficial pain or your skin pain, you'll have to compare, no? So what's the difference between deep pain and skin pain? Which one is properly localized? Which one is poorly localized? Which one lingers? Which one, things like that, no? So you'll have to discuss these physiologic concepts. Also, you'll have to discuss yung ascending pathways, ano ba ba? So yun, so everything that you discussed during the lecture, you'll have to apply in this activity. Okay, so for anoxic pain, I will not go into this right now because this is a little bit complicated. We will be doing this in the lab, so we will be using 2 BP cups, no? So we will produce pain using two cups, like what you see in the picture here. What happens when, let's say, an extremity has no blood supply or blood flow? So you produce anaerobic metabolism, you produce lactic acid. So you'll also have to describe the kind of pain that you feel, things like that, no? I will not go into this kasi medyo tedious yung procedure niya. But in your manual, you have the procedure there. If you want to do this at home, okay lang, no? But of course, this is one of the activities that tututukan natin in the lab, no? So we'll focus more on this during your laboratory session. Okay, next is temperature. So for this one, you'll need 3 beakers, no? One containing warm water, the other one containing cold water, and then in the middle you have tap water. So what you need to do is you just submerge your finger, no? Which one is warm, which one is cold, no? So you just have to identify. So afterwards, you'll have to dip both fingers in tap water. And then what do you observe, no? What happens to the sensation? Does it feel warm? Does it feel cold? Things like that.
For investigations on temperature sensation, you will need 3 beakers, one with warm water, tap water, and cold water. Prepare the beakers containing the water and immerse 1 finger of each hand in the cold and warm water respectively. Do the sensations of warm and cold continue? Now, immerse the fingertips simultaneously in tap water. Note and explain the sensations.
Okay, so ganun siya, no? Another activity for temperature is blowing the skin, no? 2 inches away and then 6 inches away. So what do you feel when you blow the dorsum of the hand 2 inches away, no? And then how is it different when you blow the hand 6 inches away? Then afterwards, you could put, let's say, water, or I don't know if may heater kayo sa bahay, or oil of wintergreen, or sometimes mga efficacent oil, yung mga minty balm nyo sa bahay dyan, mga whatever. And of course, alcohol, no? So what happens when you apply these substances on the skin and then you blow? Does it feel warm? Does it feel cold? Etc. No? So of course, you will write your observations, you will report your observations, but more importantly, you'll have to discuss how do we know or how do we detect temperature, no? So how do we know if it's hot? How do we know if it's cold? Things like that. Next is the area of the size of the area stimulated. So here you need a beaker of warm water and a beaker of cold water, and you have rods with a blunt end and a pointed end. So you'll have to stimulate the skin using the pointed end and the blunt end. And then you'll have to compare. No, what's the difference between the pointed end and the blunt end?
Now we will check for the influence of size of area stimulated. For this exercise, we will need a beaker of warm water and a beaker of cold water and 4 metal rods. One with a broad tip and another one with a pointed tip. Immerse the brass rods with the narrow and broad tips in a beaker with warm water. Remove, dry, and touch alternately the narrow and broad ends of the skin. Which gives a stronger temperature sensation and why?
Okay, so ganun siya guys, no? Okay, next is sense of vibration. If you have tuning forks sa bahay, no, you could do this at home. So here you will activate the fork and place it on the forearm, on the back, and the dorsum of the foot. So what you will have to report is your rank. Which one is more sensitive or most sensitive? No, saan nyo ba naramdaman yung vibrations more? Is it on the forearm and then on the back and then on the dorsum of the foot? Things like that. No? So that's your observation. Now, of course, in the SGD, you'll have to discuss why. So for example, let's say the most sensitive part is the forearm, and then the back, and then the dorsum of the foot. So why is it that the forearm is more sensitive compared to the back, compared to the dorsum of the foot? So ganun lang siya, guys. Next is stereognosia. So this one, this is commonly used for neurologic examination. So you just give a blindfolded subject, no, an object, and then the subject will have to identify this through touch. Now, normally, we use one hand at a time. So, hindi pwedeng, you know, you're putting the object, or you're putting the object from one hand to the other. No, we use one hand at a time. Now, if the subject is able to identify it or at least accurately describe it, then more or less your subject has intact neurologic functions.
For stereognosis, the appreciation of the form of three-dimensional objects by palpation without the aid of vision is termed stereognosis. For this activity, you will need common objects that will be identified by a blindfolded person. Blindfold the subject and ask him to identify by palpation different objects such as coin, key, pen, cell phone, etc. Explain how the subject is able to distinguish the different objects. Higit po kayo. Bakit describe? Mahaba po. Para pong ballpen. Okay. Kabila po. Mahaba rin po. Para pong ballpen. Malambot po. Para pong ulap. Kabila po. Matus po. Para pong glass.
Okay, so ganun lang siya, guys. No? Of course, if your subject doesn't have any neurologic problems, no, he or she is able to identify it. So of course, you can do this at home. Madali lang siyang gawin. No? When you come to the SGD, what is more important is why or how are we able to identify these objects through touch? No? So paano ba natin sila na-identify? Then you have your projection of sensation. So for this activity, you'll just stimulate your ulnar nerve dito sa median or medial aspect ng elbow natin. So you can locate your ulnar nerve there. And then you'll feel something dito sa little finger and the ring finger. No? So you just write your observation. So what do you feel? No? Ano ba siya? Pain, pressure, tingling sensation, pins and needles, etc. Where do you feel it? Does it radiate? Things like that. No? So do you feel it's a little finger and the ring finger radiating to your arm, to your shoulder, things like that. No? So those are the things that you will be reporting for this activity. Again, this is simple enough. You could do this at home yourselves. No? So when you come to the SGD, so we'll discuss why is it that you have those kinds of results. What is law of projection, things like that. No? How come you feel something dito sa little finger and ring finger, etc. No? Okay, so I guess that's it. Any questions? Any questions, guys? No. Usually iba-iba, no? Iba-iba. And yeah, iba-iba so that everybody can, experience itong mga activities na ito. So that's the reason why we also encourage you to, if you can do the other activities at home, better, no? So that when you come to the session, you're not coming there blank. At least you have some experience, no, to bring to the table, no? So any more questions? Any more questions, guys? Okay, so this is what will happen next week. Your class will be divided into two big groups, probably groups 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4. One big group, no? Halimbawa kayo, anong grupo ba to? Group 1 and 2 or 2 and 3? I think it's 2 and 3. Tama ba?
1 and
2 po.
1 and 2 ba? Okay. So, halimbawa, group 1 and 2, no? Usually naman, alphabetical ang division niyo eh. So, let's say, groups 1 and 2 will do the session in the morning, no? And then 3 and 4 in the afternoon. So, 8 to 10 will be the activities. So, we will do the activities, no? And then 10 to 12 will be the SGD. So that's for the morning session. For the afternoon session, 1 to 3 will be the activities, and then 3 to 5 will be the SGD. So we will be present to facilitate you and do the SGD. So again, before you come to the activity or to the lab, no, I hope na medyo you've already reviewed the different concepts that you will be discussing during the SGD. So if you will notice, you have a very, very short period of time between your activity and your SGD, no? So you don't have enough time to, really look for kung ano pa yung mga concepts na you will be applying. So this is the reason why for the activities that you will be doing at home, no? Medyo umpisahan nyo na. So, if you can do the activities at home, do it. And then, this somehow prepare your SGD presentation already. So, you will be discussing the different concepts, the different laws, the receptors that are employed, no? Ano-ano ba yung mga receptors na ginagamit natin for touch, vibration, for pain, things like that, no? The ascending tract or the sensory tract, no? What else? The different laws, how are they applied? No? The Bell-Majendi law, law of projection, power law, Weber-Fechner law, law of specific energies, etc. Things like that. So you'll have to discuss these appropriately, no, to whichever activity yung kailangan siyang i-discuss. The different concepts, no, physiologic concepts like your tawag nito, your sensory unit, your lateral inhibition, your sensory homunculus, things like that. So lahat yan pag-uusapan na, no, during the SGD. Again, hindi lang results yung pag-uusapan natin. No? We're not just after for your results. We're more interested in the application of the different concepts that you've learned. So dito makikita natin how are these concepts are applied. No? Things like that. Malinaw, guys?
Yes po.
Okay. Another reminder. Please bring as much materials as possible. No? We have materials sa lab, but they are quite limited. Like I think we have six BP cups. So kung masasubdivide pa kayo into smaller subgroups, then maghihintayan pa tayo ng materials. No? We will have to wait for the others to finish before, makahiram, no? Before we borrow these materials. So if you can bring your materials better, no, like your 21 peso coins, blindfolds, rulers, what else? Your ano ba bang mga kailangan yung ano? Things like that, no? The materials are listed naman sa ano ninyo, sa manual ninyo, no? So if you can bring these stuff, then better, no? Like mga tuning fork niyo, things like that, no? So ganon. Ano pa ba? Oh, by the way, di ba halimbawa, one group, let's say group 1, mahati pa kayo sa dalawa. So each session will have 4 subgroups. 2 groups, no, that would be group 1. The other 2 groups would be group 2. So you have 4 subgroups in the morning. So that's the reason why medyo magiging limited yung gamit natin sa lab. No? That's why we encourage you guys to bring your own stuff. No? Yung mga ano ninyo, mga ruler ninyo, yung mga BP cup, lalo na yung BP cup. No? If you could bring your BP cup for the anoxic pain, better. Ano pa ba? Oh, may tanong pa? Any questions? May nagtanong yesterday from the other section, Doc, what about the SGD? Can we prepare a PowerPoint? It's up to you guys. No, if you want to prepare a PowerPoint so that our discussion would be, medyo smooth sailing siya, it's okay if you want to do that. No? So, ano pa? Kung ayaw nyo nang naka-PowerPoint tayo, tapos gusto nyo chalk and blackboard, okay lang din. No? So, doesn't really matter.
Doc, may question lang po.
Yes.
Bali, tama po ba yung SGD is for the whole group din po? I mean,
what do you mean for the whole group? I think naka-subgroup din eh. I'm not sure. Kasi apat din kami during the SGD eh. Mga 3 to 4 kami. 3 during the lab, and then whoever is assigned in the lab or in the activity. Like for example, if I'm handling group 1 for the activity, I will be conducting the SGD for group 1. So ganun siya. I'm not sure if the other members, kasi pinadala lang sa akin yung tawag ito, division. So far, ang nakikita ko is tatlong grupo sa umaga and then 3 grupo sa hapon. So I'm not sure how paano yung division nun. But wag nyo nang masyadong problemahin yun. No? Kami nang problema ng division. So, ang importante lang naman is you come to the lab prepared. Yun lang naman eh. Oh, any more questions, concerns? Siyempre, we want your first face-to-face session with us na smooth sailing. No? Para yung experience nyo naman sa Fisio makita ninyo how physiologic concepts are applied. Any more concerns, questions? Wala? Nakapag face-to-face na ba kayo with the other departments? Okay, so kamusta naman? Masaya ba?
Doc, may question po ako.
Go.
Di ba po straight na 4 hours po yun? So straight na 4 hours po kaming gagawa ng activity and SGP or pwede pong like mag-break gano'n?
May break naman. May break naman, no? Yun lang, I think the protocol is you're not allowed to loiter around. So once you enter the lab, you're there during the entire duration of the session. No? I don't know if typically kasi sa lab you're not allowed to eat. Pero with the current situation, kasi we're trying to avoid people congregating sa sa cafeteria. I don't know. Ano na bang ano nyo? Ano na bang saang department na ba kayo nakapag face to face?
Sa IPD po do.
IPD, were you allowed to go to the cafeteria and go around?
2 hours lang po kasi yung IPD namin, Doc.
So pagkatapos ng 2 hours uwi na kayo.
Opo.
Pwede pong magstay dun sa 706 after ng class.
Merong designated room na nandun lang kayo, no? I think kung although hindi pa naman whole day yung hindi pa naman whole day yung face-to-face, no? Kasi we're still developing protocols on how are you going to have your, let's say, lunch break when everybody's doing face-to-face na. So kumbaga inuunti-unti na natin, no? Of course, hindi pwedeng sabay-sabay kayo mag-dismiss because if everybody gets dismissed at 12 noon for lunch, then everybody will go to the cafeteria. So that already defeats the social distancing thing. No, things like that. But personally, if you ask me, ano na lang siya, why are we so concerned about, if you ask me personally, why are we so concerned about this social distancing thing? When you look at yung mga tao ngayon, nasa mall, no? Nanonood ng sine. Actually, nakapanood na nga ako ng sine na wala nang social distancing eh. Wala nang chair in between, no? Kayo ba yung nakapanood na ng sine recently? May ano pa ba? Meron pa bang chair in between?
1 seat apart po.
Naka 1 seat apart pa rin.
Pero sa pila po, hindi.
Pero sa pila, hindi. Last night kasi I watched Batman eh. And wala nang 1 seat apart. Nagulat ako, sabi ko, wala na bang 1 seat apart? Sabi, wala na po sir eh. Because it's level 1 ek na. Okay, sige. So kumbaga, wala na, back to normal na. So I don't really understand this paranoia about, yung ganong klaseng protocols pa na we have to stagger everybody so that people won't crowd in the cafeteria or people are not loitering in the hallways. I mean, hello, people are loitering in the mall. Diba? So, give the education system a break. Lahat ng tao nagmo-mall na nga eh. So, ganon. But I leave it to the admin people to think about that. No? Bahala silang gumawa ng protocols na ganyan. But for our session, in the lab kasi you're really not allowed to eat eh. Pero, I don't know. Siguro magbaon na lang kayo ng light na merienda. Tapos share nyo na lang sa department. Joke. Oh, any more questions? Any more questions?
Doc, linawin ko lang po. So yung kasama pong groupmates namin na nag-lab, sila din po yung kasama namin for SGD?
Yes. Ganun siya. Kung ano yung grupo nyo, ganun. Kaya nga if you could do the other activities at home, yung iba madali lang, no? Yung mga water na ilulubog yung daliri nyo, madali lang yon. Adaptation, projection, no? Yung tawag ito, yung pag-locate, no? Yung topognosis, many of the activities are simple enough that you can do at home. Of course, we will do all of them, probably except the mercury thing. We will do all of them in the lab. But in order to save time, no, kasi we will focus more on proprioception and anoxic muscle. We'll focus more on that, no? And the others, you can actually do it at home, no? We'll try to do them in the lab, pero ano na lang yon, supplementary na lang yon. So, ganun siya. Now, when you come to the SGD now, of course, we would hope na much of you have experienced yung different activities, no? Na-experience nyo adaptation, na-experience nyo yung identify ng warm water, cold water, no? Mag-blow ng hand, things like that. So when we're discussing things and we're applying all these physiologic concepts already, then it makes your understanding a little bit more relatable. No? Kaya pala ganun siya. No? Kaya pala ganito. Kaya pala cold yung sensation, kaya pala warm yung sensation, things like that. No? Kaya we encourage you to do whatever you can at home. Also, no, kapag gumawa na ng practical exam, sometimes it will be asked of you, what's the expected result of this activity? So if you're not able to experience it, then wala, mahihirapan kayo. No? So ganun siya. So what is the expected sensation, let's say, ng skin pain compared to deep pain, compared to the anoxic muscle? Yung mga ganun ba? No? So if you're not able to experience them, well, good luck sa exam. Anything else? Anything else you want to add? Wala na? Okay, so I guess that's it.